Welcome to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast from three guys who talked sports together over lunch for over 10 years, probably eating a Fudgy the Whale in that time.
Welcome, everybody, to Three the Hard Way Sports Podcast. I'm Bryan Galloway here, a little under the weather from a long flight, but I'm here with, from parts unknown, Michael Pipersick. How are you, Mike?
Bryan, I think I'm doing a little bit better than you. The black cat of travel. It seems like every time you travel, there's some sort of a snafu, but glad that you're back safe and sorry you're not feeling great. But I'm doing well.
And from, thank you, Michael. And from Rumson, New Jersey, we have Alex Shanley. How are you?
We have a lot to talk about this morning.
Yes.
We have an early morning edition here because of all the big news going on in the NBA. So get ready, folks.
Okay,
Strap in.
so yes, we were going to talk about the Super Bowl, but we're going to push this back a little bit because of this crazy news, what happened in the NBA. So, Alex, why don't you give us a little tidbit about what happened?
Well, it seems like late night last night, Anthony Davis was traded for Luka Doncic, and there's some other players involved in it, and Pips will get into all the details because he's our basketball guru. But yeah, superstar for superstar, you kind of love it. And it changes the dynamic, I think, for both teams. And I, honestly, my first reaction
Yeah, I could see both teams making it. At first, my initial reaction was, an expletive, right? Shocking. Anytime the Lakers are involved in a big trade, I get annoyed, right? Because they're the Lakers and they always find a way to get like the star. And I think what they've done here is now set themselves up for a post LeBron future with their next superstar, which is Luka Doncic, who's been dealing with a lot of injuries and stuff. But I do think it's big for the Mavericks as well. We've joked about Anthony Davis a lot and how we nicknamed him Street Clothes, or Charles Barkley calls him Street Clothes, but he's having a great season and he changes games on the defensive end of the floor as well as offensively. He's been playing really well. And I think this makes the Mavericks better because I don't think scoring's their problem, but they're still getting some scoring back with Anthony Davis. But they get a linchpin on defense, and then you combine him with Derek Lively, the second defensively, and the Mavericks suddenly become, I think, probably a better team without Luka. Who, Bryan, I know you cannot stand this guy's ability to play defense or lack thereof.
Well, I like him, but I always
Yeah.
liked him, but I hate the fact that he just doesn't even care about defense.
Yeah. And he's been out of shape. They say he's up to, I guess he came to camp in shape by his standards, but I guess his weight's ballooned up to 260. He's been injured quite a bit. He's only played 22 games this season, left calf strain a couple of times for camp. They called it a calf contusion, and now he's dinged up again and just doesn't look that healthy out there. And like you said, Bryan, doesn't defend. He's never been a great defender. And I mean, it's a seismic trade for the league. I mean, LeBron apparently was unaware. The Lakers were in New York last night, beating the Knicks.
Oh yeah,
I
he
don't
unaware.
understand.
There's no way he was unaware, guys.
Yeah, I never believed that LeBron is not
They
consulted
don't,
and told that this
no,
stuff happens,
yeah,
right?
they don't
Like,
do anything without. I mean, I think I remember hearing Derek Jeter saying that they used, Cashman used to just call him once in a while to see if he, well, when things are happening. I'm telling you, you do not ever get the star player pissed off. You give him a heads up about what's happening. So I
Is
don't
he
think
still the star player, though, now?
he is
who
passing the torch to
was Reed is
Reeves.
Reeves the star
Bronny.
player?
Bronny wanted this trade. Bronny's pulling the strings.
What did Anthony Davis say? Something not nice about him? He's like, Daddy, you
Well,
got to get rid of
Bronny
this.
had a good game against the Celtics. Like he helped the Lakers beat the Celtics, right?
Yeah, he was massive. I think that completely changed the dynamic of
He had
that
3
game.
turnovers and a missed shot. It was
What do we think Kyrie's influence on this trade was?
Oh, man, I don't know. I think the bigger part of this, and this is where when you get agents involved as executives and you get sneaker executives. So the guy running the show in Dallas is Nico Harrison. He's a former Nike executive, and then the Lakers VP of basketball operations, which I guess is the equivalent of the GM and maybe more so, is Rob Pelinka. So Rob Pelinka was an agent for a long time. Rob Pelinka was Kobe Bryant's agent, and Nico Harrison happens to have been Kobe Bryant's marketing manager at Nike. So these two guys have known each other for a long time. So I'm sure they have regular conversations, and Nico Harrison's talking about, well, I'm really frustrated with Luka, and he can't get in shape. And Rob Pelinka's like, so really, what would it take to get him? And deals like this get made. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Luka Doncic. I think he's a generational talent offensively, but like Bryan says, not a great defender, indifferent defender. You got Kyrie there, can score. And Kyrie's kind of taking a back seat to Luka a lot of the time. He's been a really good team player. So I think, right, like you said, Alex, I think both teams are here, but I think the Mavericks. This gets the Lakers closer to a championship, honestly.
For the future, though, it's a future thing.
Yeah.
I think for the Lakers.
How much longer can LeBron play? Right? Is this the last year for LeBron? I don't know. And if it is, the Lakers have that next superstar already on the team. And then I think the Lakers also received Maxi Kleber, who's one of Bryan's favorite players. Pretty good shooter, right? Can score some points from the perimeter, stretches out defenses, and then.
But who's playing center for the Lakers now?
Jackson Hayes, I think.
And he's terrible.
The funny thing here is that Anthony Davis about a week or so ago said we need another center, because Anthony Davis says that the Lakers were at their best when he was playing the 4, not the 5.
And he's going to play the 4 in Dallas.
Yeah, because they've got Derek Lively the second, which is fantastic. He's a rim protector as well. So I think this is Anthony Davis is gonna be really excited about this, and it is very strange when you have two superstars changing teams in the same.
Well, you know something. Did you know that in the 2002 All-Star game when they did the draft, that who the first pick of LeBron's first pick was?
Was it Luka?
Luka.
But he had no idea this was happening.
Yeah, I had no idea. No idea.
But I think the big winner here in this trade that we're not talking about is the Jazz. The Jazz won this trade. So they get Jalen Hood-Schifino, the Clippers 2025 second round pick, and the Mavericks 2025 second round selection. So
what did they give up?
The Jazz?
Yeah.
I don't think the Jazz gave up anything. Let's see. Lakers get Doncic, Kleber, and Markieff Morris, who's still in the NBA, Bryan. He's like the new Udonis Haslem, it seems like. Dallas gets Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the Lakers 2029 first round pick. Is Max Christie, is he related to Doug Christie in any way?
I don't know that. Yeah, he is.
Is he? Okay. Is he a son?
But wait, so what does Utah get? I'm trying to figure this out. I don't see anything.
Utah gets
besides the draft picks, but they didn't give anything up, did they?
Schifino and 2 draft picks.
But what'd they give up?
The Jazz? Nothing.
How does that work?
I don't know. I guess they get involved. I guess you need a third team to make all of the contracts work. It must be that, right?
But what did they take on a player? Did you say?
Yeah, Jalen Hood-Schifino. How could you forget this name, Alex?
I'm sorry. I heard the draft picks and was thinking.
hyphenated guy. He's averaging 2 points, half a rebound, half an assist, but he's shooting 100% from the field. So,
100%.
Well,
I mean,
Oh,
2 more
this
points
is
than Bronny.
this is
Yeah,
this is
he's probably
this
still
is
better.
epic.
So I wonder what Luka's going to deal with Bronny too. I mean, like I can just imagine, like, who is this guy? Get this guy off the bench, bum.
He's gonna yell at Bronny. That's LeBron's son. Wait,
Well,
what?
No, but
do you
LeBron's
okay.
son?
So the
do you
dynamic.
think? But
Oh, go
wait,
ahead.
do you think LeBron's energy and work ethic are going to help Doncic?
It's got to. That's the thing. I think that they are. It's got to be pitched to LeBron as this is we are the Lakers, right? We need our next generational superstar. It's not Anthony Davis. He's a little bit older. It's going to be Luka Doncic, and we need you to help him understand the privilege, the responsibility that comes with that. And you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, which I think if a guy's struggling to keep in shape and so forth, is LA the right place for him? I don't know. Hollywood,
Yeah,
a young single guy.
liposuction. He'll be having
Yeah,
liposuction.
something's going on. Yeah. So yeah, so now Doncic, the other interesting thing here is that he was in line to receive a super max deal, 5 years, $345 million, which is wild money. But they said because of the trade, he's no longer eligible for a super max deal. So I don't know what his contract status becomes at the end of the season, how much he gets. But
Well, isn't
wow,
it like it's like a $20 or $30 million difference? Like if you don't sign with your team, yeah, it's something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket for these guys. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
so the craziest part about this deal maybe is that there was actually one game still going on last night when the trade was announced. So Phoenix was playing Portland, and Devin Booker from the Suns said that someone in the stands told him and his teammates about the trade, and they said Luka, and Devin Booker's response was Luka Garza, the Timberwolves center, not realizing that it was Luka Doncic, and he said I wasn't trying to be funny. He said there's no way the Mavericks would trade Luka Doncic, so he assumed it was Luka Garza, the old Purdue center. But yeah, I think Devin Booker had the same sentiment. I think that a lot of us probably had is that Luka Doncic is untradeable, and here you go, massive trade. I mean, Kevin Durant said, insane. Never would have thought Luka Doncic would get traded mid-season at his age. Unbelievable, like
Well,
a huge trade.
Mark Cuban said he would never trade him. So it
What
just
is Mark
shows you
Cuban
Mark
doing on the
Cuban's not in
Mavericks?
charge anymore.
Yeah,
No, it also means he must be a real pain in the butt.
Could be.
I
I
think
have a feeling.
so.
I have a feeling he's got a lot of drama around him, and he's very high maintenance.
Yeah, I think the team was frustrated with his inability to stay in shape and all of these injuries that have been piling up, and this opportunity, I guess, presents itself to the Mavericks. And Nico Harrison said, "Defense wins championships." Bryan, there you go. That's an indictment on Luka Doncic. If you don't, he's essentially saying, "I don't think we can win a championship with this guy." As great as he is, 28.6 point per game average, which is third highest among players that have played at least 400 games. I mean, that is an indictment that Luka Doncic is not the guy that so many people that watch
What's
the
funny is
NBA
the
play
Lakers
with.
have been playing pretty well lately. So what is going to happen to them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Lakers have been playing really well. I mean, I don't know. It is just I do think when you look at this trade, and I've always been a guy that kind of makes fun of Anthony Davis because he's been injured, but he's been playing really well. I think he's out now. He suffered an abdominal strain. He's going to be out for a few days, so he's not going to make his Mavs debut for a little bit. But I mean, he's been very good for the Lakers this year, and the Lakers have been playing well. I mean, they beat the Celtics. They just beat the Knicks in New York last night. I think they are the
Easy.
five. Yeah, oh, believe me, Alex, I did not want to see that happen
I
either.
know.
But the Lakers are the
And
five seed now.
OG
So
may have gotten hurt.
what's that? Oh, OG. Yeah,
Ananobi, yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, he just kind of went down with that lower body injury, as they say in the NHL. But yeah, I mean, the Lakers are the five seed right now. Obviously, a long way to go in the season. Lined up to play the Nuggets, who's that's their boogeyman. They can't seem to beat the Nuggets, but And
Well,
then
Nuggets are not playing. Nuggets are not playing well right now either. The
yeah,
Nuggets have
they're
been
they're
all they play. They have a good game and they get blown out. Then they have a good game. Very very flawed team now, which they used to
yeah
be a very unflawed team.
yeah.
They're flawed.
So
They have people are finding their flaws now.
yeah, so that's the 4 or 5 matchup right now, and I don't think anybody. I don't see that this trade for Luka Doncic gives the Lakers an advantage over the Nuggets in a 4 or 5 matchup. Definitely not in a matchup
What's going to
against
happen in the
Oklahoma
playoffs when
City.
somebody needs the ball and both LeBron and Doncic want it? That's going to be strange.
I think
Is
LeBron's going
LeBron
to
going to
defer
step
to him.
back?
I think
LeBron's
LeBron's
going to
going to
step
defer to him.
back and say, "You take the shots."
Yeah, LeBron does not. He's fine giving up the ball in big moments and allowing other guys to make plays. And Luca loves that moment. I think LeBron is going to become a bit of a game manager, still get his 20-25, keep guys involved, decide when he needs to take over a game. But I think it's going to be go ahead, Luca. It's your show here, and LeBron's gonna at this stage in his career seems to be okay being the second guy if he could somehow find a way to win a title. I don't think the Lakers were a title contender this year anyway, and I don't think this helps them either.
Yeah, I don't think it helps him. It's kind of like the more I'm looking at this trade now. Again, I've had to like quickly analyze things this morning while you guys were talking because I didn't know about it until Alex told me 5 minutes before this episode. I had no idea. I was flying and not traveling. I didn't hear. My phone was off. So I don't know. I didn't know anything. Now I'm looking at this right now. I do not see this helping the Lakers. I see this causing more controversy. Second of all, if he decides he's not going to want to work out and try to follow along with the way LeBron does stuff, if he's trying to be the same person, he's not going to fit in LA. You're right about the Mavericks. The Mavericks might be better if AD
But
stays
strangely,
healthy.
Brian and Alex, the when it comes to betting, which the three of us love gambling our money away, the Lakers odds went from 40-1 to 16-1 to win the NBA title. So they're now third in the West behind only Oklahoma City and Denver. But the Mavericks,
Really?
who had started the season at 25-1, went to 40-1. Now they're 33-1. So their odds got worse, even though I think they got better in this deal.
Hmm.
Very odd.
And
Yeah,
Vegas
I don't
knows.
know, man. I don't understand how the NBA lets this kind of thing happen, but it happened. Okay, we'll see how it goes. It's dramatic. Now again, I'm not a I'm obviously not a big AD fan because I just don't like the fact I don't like what he did with his previous team where he kind of like
Agree. Yeah.
held out. It's just a selfish, childish way he does things. But now he gets hurt all the time, and but we'll see. Who knows if he's driven and he wants to prove himself without LeBron, which might be the reason.
Yeah.
Try to win without LeBron. Um, the Mavericks could be a better team. You're right.
I think Anthony Davis is the second biggest name in this trade, and I know that kind of stuff drives him crazy. He gets wildly irritated when NBA pundits talk about how much better Jokic is than him, and he's not considered an elite player, and he views himself as an elite player. This could really motivate him to go on some kind of a revenge tour, which would be really interesting to see if the Mavericks suddenly go on a tear and once he starts playing for them, maybe in a week or so, and then if the Lakers see the
What
trade
would be
over,
really
he can
cool?
send it back.
What would be really cool is if they end up playing each other in the playoffs.
Oh
That
my
would be
God,
really cool.
that would be that
Yeah,
would be.
that's another thing. You're trading midseason with a team in your conference.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these things don't add up. Like with intelligence as far as sports goes. But we'll see what happens. This is crazy. I think um, here we were going to talk about the Super Bowl. This actually superseded that. This is big news. This is going to be on every single talk show. I can't wait to hear NBA on Sirius tomorrow. Their starting lineup with Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine talk about it because it's going to be nuts.
Yeah,
Mike
So
yeah.
Greenberg will talk about it for like 30 seconds and then talk about Aaron Rodgers at the Jets after
yeah,
that.
yeah. There you
Hey,
go.
hey,
There you
Hey,
go.
Brian, Anthony Davis has only missed 5 games this season, so he's played in 40 or yeah, he's missed 5 games this season
Well, because
out. So
probably
he's played
LeBron says to him,
42
"Well, what the heck?"
games.
He'll go, "Oh man, I'm not feeling good today. I have the flu." LeBron's like, "Get up and play. What are you doing? You
He's
get it,
played twice as many games as Luka Doncic this season, and look, like I said, an outstanding season. He's ninth in the NBA in scoring, sixth in rebounding. He's averaging 3.5 assists a game. He's shooting 53% from the floor. Anthony Davis is having a great season. This could really turn out great for the Mavericks, especially where he's more comfortable playing the four, and that's where he's going to play. So maybe there was some conflict between Anthony Davis and the Lakers where he said, I don't want to play center. And if he came out a week ago and said, what we need to do is we need to acquire another center because we're better when I play the four, who knows? Maybe that kind of comment rubs
Well,
the
yeah,
Lakers
he's
the
never
wrong
wanted to play center, but
No.
okay.
But
So
do you think?
here's my question to both of you. End of the year are the for both teams. Now, I'm going to tell you right now how I feel. Lakers, Mavericks. Who do you think is gonna? Are they going to be better or worse? So my feeling is Lakers are going to be worse and the Mavericks are going to be better.
I
I
think
think
so
they're
too.
both. I think they're both going to get better because I think
Ooh.
there's more moves to happen. I think the Lakers are going to make another move, and I think the Dallas Mavericks have to make another move. You look at their roster; they have 4 centers, not including Anthony Davis. 4.
Anthony Davis is
So
not a center.
yeah,
Just ask him.
so right, but he's not in that number, right? So they have 4 other centers. I don't know. I think Brian, you're right. In the immediate, I think Dallas is better as long as Anthony Davis wants to play, and that he's not going to be looking to get out of there. I think he's in a better position. I think Kyrie is going to be more comfortable with the ball in his hands and knowing that he's going to be the guy with the ball in his hands. So I think they're going to be better. But I think the Lakers are going to get better. I really do. I think they're going to make another trade because they need a big. And maybe this frees up time for Bronny to play more.
Oh yeah, that might be it. That could be. So Bronny's going to start too. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's part of this whole deal.
I don't know. But
Oh
I
my
agree with you,
goodness.
Brian. Dallas is definitely better. I don't know about the Lakers, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we'll
I
see.
and I'd forgotten, but Derek Lively had broken his ankle, so he's going to be evaluated in a month. So
Oh,
right
he
now
did.
they've got Daniel Gafford is their starting center, not as much of a rim protector as Derek Lively. So
Oh,
this
that makes
trade
sense.
potentially helps Dallas down the line because then they've got Dwight Powell is another center. He's literally like a 10 minute a game player. He's not going to help them that much, but I mean yeah, this is and there's a
And what
lot of
about
injury issues.
Kyler Kelly? Did they just got him, right?
Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is. Like,
Yeah,
And
who is that?
so they have Gafford, they have Kelly, they have Lively, and they have Powell.
yeah,
But you're right. Derek, if Derek Lively's out with the ankle, then
that's
that's
right.
probably why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a bit of a revelation for them last year. I think he was much better than expected. But
You have
I would
Dookie,
not be
those
surprised.
Dookie guys.
What's that?
He's a Dookie.
Yeah, that's right.
That's,
I would
yeah.
not be surprised to see the Lakers make some more moves. I just don't know what they've really got to give up. I mean, like who on that roster is desirable to another team and potentially a difference maker, right?
LeBron James to the Golden State Warriors.
Ooh, yeah, and they just
Wait,
slide
now
Jared
because of after
Vanderbilt.
this trade?
Yeah. They,
So
they
that
trade
so
away
basically
they
LeBron
trade
says,
away
"Hey, now I
Draymond.
want out of here." Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bronny
I don't
too.
know. Yeah. Bronny.
Bronny too. Yeah, there you
It'll
go.
be interesting. It adds a little juice to the NBA when they need it. And the Super Bowl seems like it's kind of second fiddle. It's strange, but definitely in the New York area, right? With all the talk about the Mets and Pete Alonso and St. John's is playing great
Yeah.
Oh
basketball.
yeah,
And
and no, but wait, you haven't talked about so besides this big trade, there was one other thing that I think was a little bit higher on the scale than this Doncic trade. Did you hear that McDonald's made an agreement with Angel Reese to have her own Happy Meal?
Yeah.
It's called the Miss Layup Happy Meal. I just don't. I I cannot believe that. First of all, if they McDonald's is going to choose a person to put on one of their meals, they pick one of the. I don't know. To me, I'm thinking she's polarized now. And I've been watching her in Unrivaled. She still can't make a layup. It's amazing. You watch her in that game. They bench her all the time in Unrivaled because she makes a turnover. She can't dribble properly. She tries to dribble and she always puts her hand underneath and she gets traveling calls all the time. They're going to put her there. Why couldn't they have found another person in the WNBA to put a Happy Meal together? I just don't. I don't like. I think that's a stupid move for them. This could backfire on them, but we'll see.
What does a Happy Meal deal pay? Like, what is she making from this deal?
I don't know. There's probably something, obviously, to have her like this on it. I guarantee.
Is it
I
a
mean, it
Happy
depends.
Meal?
Yeah.
Or is it just a regular meal?
No, it's a Happy Meal. I don't know what you get. Like you get the little burger and the really small fries and a small soda and a little bag of apples or something.
and
Um,
and when they hand it to you, do they kind of like fumble it over to you?
Yeah. Well, they drop it. They drop it off the. Oh, you guarantee you there'll be beams like that. I guarantee you there'll be beams like that.
The
Of
Angel
because
Reese.
she has a cereal, right? She has. I think she has Reese's Pieces cereal or whatever.
I mean,
And
Oh, I've heard
she's
that.
about
and so
marketing.
there's memes of people going to the store, taking it off the shelf, and go to throw it in their cart, and it falls on the ground. I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
I mean, she's about marketing though. She's a huge
Yeah.
brand,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
she is.
She's you know, I think she has that up on Caitlin Clark. I think Caitlin Clark's a phenomenal player. I think Angel Reese is a great player as well. But I think Angel Reese knows how to play the media side of it, and she understands social media better, and she's kind of out there because of all those things plus her talent. So I think that's what the brands are looking for. They're looking for reach, and um, I think she's got it. I think that's her value. I mean, I don't like everything she does on the court, but she's a competitor and she plays, and so I
Yeah.
think that's what McDonald saw for
But I
sure.
just think, first of all, and then also an athlete who wants to make a deal with McDonald's, figuring, okay, I'm trying to be healthy, I'm an athlete, and then here I'm going to sponsor McDonald's,
Oh
probably
yeah,
one of
but
the
I mean,
restaurants that's core.
Larry Bird,
Yeah, one of the restaurants
Michael
that's caused so
Jordan.
much of our society to get to be overweight and unhealthy.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
but that's about money, Brian. I mean, they're doing it for the money, and every athlete has done it. I
It's
think
all
every
about the
athlete would
money,
do it for
money,
McDonald's.
money.
It's a
It's all
Yeah.
about the money,
barbecue
money, money.
bacon quarter pounder with cheese, the Angel Reese special that comes with a smoky bold barbecue sauce, which is a game changer. A blend of sweet, savory, and a touch of spice, just like Angel Reese.
Holy moly!
It
There
Is
you
that
comes
what
with
go.
a
it
large
says in the
fries
ad?
too.
A touch of spice like Angel Reese?
No,
Okay.
I threw in the about like Angel
Oh, okay. I
Reese
thought that
part,
was the ad.
but yeah, it looks like it's a pretty it's that quarter pounder with cheese, a large fries, and a pretty tall looking drink. The drink is almost as big as she is in this ad, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't
Uh,
understand. Yeah, I think with Caitlin Clark is she could care less about that stuff, and she just cares about the game and winning. But Reese is more about that. She just cares about herself.
all
But
about the
anyway, okay,
brand.
that's yeah. Let's talk. Okay, no, we have 1 minute left to talk about the Super Bowl. No, we have time. Okay, let's talk about real quick synopsis of last weekend and then we could talk about our Super Bowl. Who wants to go? Alex, you want to start with that?
Well,
Just
we didn't do
synopsis
very
of the
well with our
games.
picks. I'll
No,
tell
we
you
did not.
that.
We did not. Well, the Eagles.
Well,
Yeah, I
well,
mean, I
we
didn't
all
pick.
picked the Eagles to win. Brian, you're the only one that thought the Eagles would cover the spread.
Yeah. I my picks last week were clearly with my heart and not with my head. So, I am not an Eagles fan. Um, so, and I wanted the Bills to win, and I think there was some questionable calls, and I don't mean that in the way that everybody says the Chiefs get the calls. I think that fourth down call, that's a tough mark. When Allen rushed it, and you had one official that had it a first down and one official that didn't, but they still had to go down and score and do all their thing. But so it ends up we have the Chiefs and we have the Eagles in the Super Bowl, kind of a repeat of what we had a few years ago, and I'm not all that excited about it, to be honest with you. It's like I don't know. I'll be rooting for the Chiefs, so I'll pick them to win, but. I don't know. I'm just not an Eagles fan, and I hope Saquon has a great game. Him being a former Giant, and I think if the Chiefs stop him, that's it. I really don't think the Eagles are going to be. I don't think Jalen Hurts, because I believe he's actually hurt. I don't think he's going to be able to march them down the field by throwing the ball 40 times in a game. But the question is can you stop Saquon with that offensive line? I just don't think you can. But Steve Spagnuolo will figure a way out. And if he does, I think the Eagles will be in big trouble. But I'm just surprised that the Kansas City is actually a favorite. I thought this would be a pick 'em, but Kansas City's favored by 1.5. So what do you guys think?
Well, they're two-time champs. I mean, they're two-time champs. They have to be favored. The Eagles haven't won anything yet. The Eagles haven't proven anything yet. So I don't know. I'm definitely rooting for the Eagles. So I hope they do. I hope they win. I think they need to win. Um, I just I feel like you do, Alex. It's going to be really hard because there's something about Mahomes or something about Spagnuolo. He'll figure something out. Um, but can the Eagles match that? I don't know. I don't know. Are they ready to match that? We'll see.
I think if Kansas City scores early and gets the Eagles down, I think the Eagles are in trouble. But I don't see that happening. I mean, I think the Eagles defense is just great, and it'll be an interesting game. If I had to bet right now, I'd bet the under. Because I just think it's going to be this defensive struggle where it's going to be a low scoring game and both teams come to stop the other team and the other team's strengths. And you have two great defensive coordinators in this game as well. It's interesting. It's an interesting game. It doesn't have a lot of juice for me, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alex, that I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, and I would take the under, which means everybody listening to this should bet the over.
Take the over.
It's going to be 60-50. It's going to be like a college football game, but I think the Eagles' defense has been terrific. I thought they did a great job containing Jaden Daniels and the Commanders last week. And I went against my better judgment in picking the Bills because I also wanted to see Josh Allen get to a Super Bowl. But I think, again, Steve Spagnuolo comes up big, and now he's going to have 2 weeks to prepare for the Eagles. So I think he's going to find a way to at least contain, if not stop, Saquon Barkley, which puts more pressure on Jalen Hurts to make plays, which I don't know that he's going downfield. So I don't know. This is like such a tough game. I'm excited for the game basically because it's the Chiefs' opportunity to make history. I think that's where the juice is in this game for me. And I think we just have to acknowledge that Patrick Mahomes is on another level here because he just finds a way to win. I was pulling for the Bills to see if they would win this game. And then the first drive of the game, Josh Allen, who seemed to finally be ready for this moment, should have been picked off twice on the first drive.
Yeah.
Two terrible throws where when I watched that first drive, I was thinking, is he nervous? Is he not ready for this moment in his career? And obviously the game went back and forth a bit, and then the Chiefs came up with that great play on fourth down where the corner came in, blitzed, and Josh Allen had to throw that pop up into the air that almost got caught miraculously. But it's just a great game, and Spagnuolo just brought the heat when he had to. The Chiefs defense made the play when they had to, like they always seem to do, and here we are again. It's Chiefs and Eagles, which I think it's going to be a great game, but I think it's going to be a bit of a low-scoring game as two defenses are playing a chess match against each other.
I think the Bills, they got to next year. They got to get themselves a receiver. They really just want we talked about Diggs, being
Hmm.
maybe he outgrew his welcome there. And for a while there, they did it in spite of him. They were still winning. But when you have a game like that, there was just not that guy for him to throw to. That there wasn't that person you want to look for, and that was a problem.
Yeah, he has Khalil Shakir, I think, right? It was wide receiver by committee. Khalil
Well,
Shakir was right.
Keon
Hmm?
Coleman, and Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
They are their two big receivers.
Yeah, but they're not good receivers. They're not. Coleman is young, and he drops a lot of balls. And Cooper was good like 10 years ago. Those are not your starting receivers for a playoff caliber, championship caliber team. They're not.
Do you think they need a big name guy, Brian, or just
Yeah.
a reliable guy? Because the Patriots never had great receivers, but they did have Gronk, who was incredibly reliable, and then Julian Edelman, who was
Well,
not
they
a
had
big
Gronk.
name, but
Gronk
very
makes
good.
other people better
And
too.
Gronk, yeah.
Having Gronk there, taking all their, two people watching him all the time.
Hmm.
So,
And
yeah, they need
They had
somebody.
Randy Moss too. They never won with him, but they
How
Yeah,
had
they
many
had
him
years
Randy
was
Moss,
Randy Moss there? He was there for that
and
undefeated
they had
season.
Gonzalez too. I mean,
too, I think.
before he
Okay.
killed people. But no, that's I think,
Hernandez, not
yeah, but
Gonzalez.
Gronk,
Hernandez.
whatever. That's right. That's right. Tony Gonzalez was the guy on the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Um, it's early. I had a long flight. Okay,
Not a lot
so
of trades in the NFL, so it's kind of hard to be able to make a trade
yeah,
to get
it's a
that
free agent. They
marquee
got to sign a free
receiver.
agent wide receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get the guy Devontae Adams.
Or
There you go.
Garrett Wilson.
You don't want
No,
Devontae Adams anymore, Brian?
no, I don't want Devontae Adams. Get rid of him. Yeah, bum. Um, okay, so your picks are Super Bowl pick. Well, what about okay? So the Eagles game, Redskins. I mean, I'm sorry, the Commanders did not. I purposely do that sometimes. The Commanders, they did not really put up the fight we thought they were going to do. But also, again, it came down to the fact that they probably hadn't made it to that far in the playoffs. But I do feel, with in the next year or so, man, they're going to be a team to come. They're going to be the next big team because they are a good team and they're
Yeah.
well coached, and I like their makeup. They need to add a couple more pieces. They're going to be tough.
And Jane Daniels need to make changes, right? Because now he's on film. They
Hmm.
have him for a whole year. Defensive coordinators will figure out what he can and can't do. So he needs to make those adjustments, and I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player. But the second year is always tougher than the first year for sure.
Ask CJ Stroud, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, he did better than I thought he was going to do this year. So
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Stroud, I mean,
Yeah.
in the playoffs, he did good. So I
Yeah.
give him a little bit of credit there. His team is decimated.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so my feeling is this: I'm going to take the Eagles. Close game. Eagles are going to win. I feel this is their year. And if it's going to happen, if it's going to happen for them, it's going to be this year. Then if it doesn't, I think the Commanders are going to be the toast of that division going forward. So this is their last chance. Now Barkley is having a year of ages. He could be having, in reality, he could be the MVP.
Hmm.
But I don't think he's going to get enough votes. But he might, in my opinion, he might be the MVP because they would not be here without him.
Yeah.
Not a drop.
Nope.
They would
I
not be
agree.
here.
Yeah.
So he's the MVP as far as I'm concerned. But let's see what he does. He's got to show up here. If he shows up like he has been, I don't think the Chiefs can stop them. It's going to be a close game because it's going to be hard stopping the Chiefs. But I have a feeling it's going to be. So I'm going to go with the over, and I'm going to say it's going to be over. And I also feel that the Eagles are going to win, and it's going to be come down to the wire. But for once, they're not going to get a call because everybody's going to be watching it. And if there's some kind of crazy call, it's going to show up all over the place. So people are going to be watching it very closely. So the NFL doesn't want to have that happen, and things are going to go the Eagles' way, and the Eagles are going to make it. So that's my
What
pick.
is the over under on this game?
I have no
49 and a
idea.
half.
49 and a half. Hmm.
25-24. Yeah, it's going to be like 28, 24, 30, 26, something like that.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs because I'm a Giant fan. I can't root for the Eagles, so I'll take the Chiefs, and I'm going to say it's going to be under that. The first half is going to be a feel me out phase for both teams, and the second half is when it's going to get the fireworks are going to start to go. But it's going to be more like I don't know, 24, 22, something like that, 24-21 game. With the Chiefs winning in the end because the referees throw a bunch of flags and help them win. And they stop the run, Spagnuolo stops the run, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it'll be good, but it's got no juice for me.
Now, here's my. So here, do you think the tush push is going to work in the Super Bowl? Because that's where I think Spagnuolo is going to try to figure out a way to stop
Yes,
the tush
it'll
push.
work.
It is like so hard to stop.
Yeah, it'll work. I mean, you just can't give them, 4th down and 1 or 4th down and, on the 1 to go in.
Yeah.
I don't just see how you stop it.
It's like, what, 99% effective? Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny hearing adults saying the word tush.
Tush push?
Tush,
Yeah.
tush. Like, when do you ever use the word tush, Brian, other than when
Never.
referring to the tush
Never,
push, right?
never.
Oh,
never.
I think someone
doesn't
kicked me
happen.
in my tush hurts a little bit. But, I'm also
Mike, stop grabbing me in my tush. I
Yeah.
used to say it all the time at work.
Yeah, stop slapping my tush to tell me good job.
I had to call Alex and say, Alex, Mike has been grabbing my tush.
Yeah.
Would you stop? Would you please talk to him about this?
I'm with Alex. I'm also picking the Chiefs and the under, but I'm not doing it because I can't root for the Chiefs, or I can't root for the Eagles as a Giants fan. I just think the Chiefs are on the precipice of history, and they're going to find a way to make it. I think Spagnuolo is going to find a way to at least contain Saquon Barkley. I expect Saquon Barkley will have a solid game because he's just been an elite player all season. I don't think he's going to be completely shut down come the biggest game of his life that he's been waiting to play in. I just think the Chiefs defense is going to do enough to win. And I think it's going to be like a 24-21 game, and maybe Harrison Butker comes through with a Super Bowl winning kick here for the Chiefs in what turns out to be a bit of a thriller.
Well, weather won't be a factor, right? They're in New Orleans, so
yeah.
No, there's just you got to hope that the players don't go out and get all blitzed up the night before. Bourbon Street, yeah.
We got to get these Super Bowls back into like cold climates too. I mean, when they had it at MetLife Stadium, it was like the warmest February.
It's like 40s. It was
in the 40s.
It was.
I was looking forward to just a foot of snow being dumped on the field and these two teams sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
and it was unseasonably warm.
But the NFL doesn't like that because it's all about the 2 weeks before where they have all the activities and the festivities, and if it's cold out, people aren't doing those things, and it's not drawing the crowds there.
Yeah,
it's become the Super Bowl is kind of like it's like people plan their trips around it, or they have a vacation, they go there and they get involved with everything. I don't anticipate there being a lot of cold weather Super Bowls from now on, at least at this point.
Brian, are you saying that East Rutherford, New Jersey is not a desirable location for people to hang out for 2 weeks?
What? Rutherford, New Jersey? Yeah.
East Rutherford? It's East Rutherford, not Rutherford.
Yeah, East Rutherford, I'm sorry.
But how do people afford to go? Do you see the ticket prices and the pack? You have to buy these packages now. You can't just buy literally you can't buy a ticket to the Super Bowl. You have to buy like a hotel package and a flight package, and it's like $15,000.
A hotel package also?
Oh yeah, like you have to do this whole thing in order to be able to get a ticket. It's crazy.
15. Yeah, I could not justify $15,000, particularly. Do you get these packages once your team is in, or?
Yeah, that's what. So you have to wait.
My team's in. Okay. Wow.
Well, yeah. See, the only time I went to a Super Bowl was we had seats from Royal Caribbean that my mom's company got. She had the travel. She had the cruise agency. So we got tickets. We went to their booth, and then beforehand, that week before, we had these other things that came part of that package where we got to go like play golf with Larry Zonka and do all these kind of weird things, and go to this concert which I'll never forget. I went to this like rap concert with my mom and my stepfather because it was they didn't know we didn't know what was going to be playing. They didn't tell you who was going to be playing, and we go there. I'm like, hey, this is great, and they were it was like Two Live Crew and some so
Two live crew.
obviously they left right away. They're like, I don't think I want to stay for this. No, I don't think you want to. It was an outdoor concert, but it was really cool. But you had like like a little ticket book, and it gave you different things that you could go see, and that was part of your package. So Alex, I do agree with you. That's exactly what it is. It's you don't just get the ticket. You get other things, and there's other activities there, and you're paying for it. Um, so yeah, again, I,
Upper.
I I actually tell you the truth. I bought them. I mean, the reason why they got them is because the Jets had a chance to get in. That was the year they lost to Denver, and ended up being probably could be, you know, arguably the worst Super Bowl ever, the Denver Atlanta Super Bowl, because the night before a guy in Atlanta got
Eugene
caught with a
Robinson. That's
prostitute. Yeah,
right.
and it ruined. And they were shot at that point. Their defense was shot. They were a mess. So they just were not competitive. So it was the most boring Super Bowl ever. But I was there, so I did get to go to one.
So what is it? A
Leaving that
week?
Super
A
Bowl
week
was
of
a
activities,
debacle.
Brian? Is it that whole week leading up to the Super Bowl? You're going to different things.
Oh yeah, we did stuff the whole week. I was there at at my mom's place, and we went back and forth into that town. They had things every day. We
Hmm.
had things. We had coupons, like a little, like it was like a book. It was like a little square, like a rectangle book, and it had in there all the things that we supposedly part of our package that we could go do. It just depends if you wanted to do it or not.
Hmm.
There was some kind of like art bazaar, like they were selling NFL art. Like if we really wanted to go to that, who cares? But there was. We went and played golf with a couple old Dolphins, and then we went to this concert, and then we did there was like a luncheon with old players too, but old Dolphin. It was all mostly old Dolphin players,
Hmm.
which was kind of funny. Um, and then we got to see what else did we got to see? We got to see some of the interviews. We got to go sit in the stands and watch. There was like a little small like an arena. I'm trying to figure out what it was. What was it? Maybe it was the highlight. Yeah, it was the highlight arena. I'm sorry, in what the town? I don't remember the town. So we went to the highlight arena, and then up at the stage of the highlight, they did all the NFL interviews, so we sat there in the chairs watching the interviews, and that was basically about it. I mean, that's the only things we did because we couldn't go back and forth every day because they didn't. They were like an hour from Miami, so you had to go drive. It was a pain in the butt. And second of all, parking was horrible too. Miami is a really hard place to park. So that was, we got to be annoying. So we did, over that week before we did probably like five things. We probably could have done like 12, but we only did about five.
None of this sounds appealing to me for $15,000.
No, no,
So
it was.
so
I
upper
believe me, if
upper
we didn't pay for the tickets, so we got them from the
Yeah.
Royal Caribbean. So we would not have. There's no way we would have been able to afford
right
this.
now, upper deck, corner end zone, upper deck, one ticket, $4,000. That's just your ticket to the game is four
Hmm.
thousand dollars on Ticketmaster.
Not
Yeah.
worth it.
And
Yeah. I
and
don't
yeah,
think it's
and
worth it. I
yeah,
guess if you say I was
Now,
able
I
to.
can tell you guys the other thing too is, and this is again, other people will tell you the same thing. Unless you have a ticket down below, it's not worth it. When you're up top, first of all, it's mad packed, right? There's they don't just it's not just the attendance. There's attendance plus way more people than there should normally be there, right? Because you have way more people there. You have way too much security. The bathroom lines are 5 miles long. The lines for a soda 5 miles long, and then leaving that stadium at the end of the Super Bowl was crazy. It was horrible. It took us 2.5 hours just to get home, which should only take us like 45 to 50 minutes. It was just miserable. That part of it capped the night off as being a terrible day because we couldn't get home. It was, just everything. So infrastructure wise, that's a hard thing because there's way more capacity than a stadium handles. Regardless of what the capacity is, if let's say the stadium holds 70,000, there's going to be 85,000 people there because of all the performers, the extra people, the security, the people that don't have seats.
Hmm.
Those people are there too. Plus the fact all these other people come to the stadium and party outside, even though they're not inside. just to be there. So it's a debacle that way too. You don't see that part of it because they don't publicize that.
Yeah.
But it was nuts. It was nuts. Nothing like I've ever seen before.
And that was what year, Bry?
The year the Broncos Falcons. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was going to say. I
It
mean,
was the
it's
year that
probably
Vinny Testaverde got hurt. I mean, Vinny Testaverde was before the year he got hurt. So it was Parcells' year at the Jet. Parcells was on the Jets. Whatever years where that was, I forget.
It's like 20 years, right?
Yeah, it was in Miami, and it was. I mean, again,
Super Bowl
I'm glad I
23,
went because but I'll never go again.
1999.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll never go again. Yeah. It was right before the girls were born. That's why I was allowed to go. Yeah, 100%. That's it. The girls were born.
But so that's 25 years ago. Imagine how much worse it is now.
Yeah, exponentially.
Right? I mean, because the halftime shows have only gotten bigger, security's only gotten tighter. Like
Yeah.
all those things that you talked about, Brian, that it's like you don't think about. They're probably, you know, twice as bad as it was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the halftime shows are crazy now.
Yeah, I remember we parked. Again, if you guys know Miami, so we got there real early. We figured, okay, we get there real early, and you couldn't park anywhere near the stadium, right? So they had you park like across town in some parking deck, and then they had a bus that would take you to the stadium. So after so that worked, right? So we parked, we got in the bus, we went to the stadium. But coming home, waiting for that bus, the line was so long. I mean, oh my goodness. It was just crazy. It just took forever. We stood there. The bus would pick up people. They'd pack up. They go. You'd have to wait for it to come all the way back. Bring in other people. Might have been 4 buses before we even got on. That was just, and you're tired. A long night. Obviously no bathrooms around there. Everything. It was just. We couldn't wait to get out of there.
Hmm.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
you
I
got
don't
to
know what time
go.
we got home.
It's
It
an
was that
experience.
made it, and the fact that the Jets weren't in it, and but I almost thought about not going, but I was like, no, I'm here. I'm able to do it, and so I think I came in. I was, I think I was working in Singapore, and I came in and went right to Florida just to go because they got the tickets. So I had this horrible flight, came in, um, landed there, went to the game, went to that whole game, and then went home, went back to New Jersey after that. So, yeah, it was a pretty crazy time back then.
Hmm.
But I was younger and I could deal with it much better than if I did it now. Forget it, man. I would no way. It
Yeah.
would not happen.
Sit on your couch, enjoy the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but it is. But see, the thing about it is, and this is everybody in sports. This is sports. It's much better to sit at home because we have better TVs and we have everything we need. I don't see the value unless you really like the team and you have good seats. If you have good seats, it's a different story. But sitting up in the bleachers to watch a football game, you can't see everything. There's no value to me to see those games, especially you said $4,000.
Yeah.
Four thousand
Just for the
dollars.
ticket. Just for the game ticket. Yeah.
Then you have some guy like that, the Eagle fan sitting next to you, screaming obscenities and all craziness. I wonder if some of these crazy Eagle people are going to be coming to the game,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You're waiting.
causing fights and stuff in New Orleans. They'll be all drunk. Yeah, what a great place to have football fans go. Go to Bourbon Street all day. You know, drink all day long, then go to the game. Yeah, it'll be
I mean,
crazy.
I think they've hosted the most Super Bowls, right? New
Yeah.
Orleans?
Yeah, and they're some of the best Super Bowl. They probably do a great job. That town is made for that stuff.
Yeah.
They have the infrastructure to handle
Huge
it. They have the
crowds. Yeah.
hotels. Everything's
Right.
walkable, right?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. I think with these stadiums, like when you're planning of these venues, you don't want to have people that like have to always get in buses back and forth. If you make it walkable, New Orleans is all walkable. Like from the hotels to the stadium, walkable, everything. So that makes it an ideal stadium.
Yeah.
There's other places that can't handle that kind of info. Like that's why Detroit would not be great. Okay, go through this ghetto here to get to the game. You can't walk. You can't walk in that area. And East Rutherford, like Mike was laughing about, what the heck could you do in East Rutherford if you're a person coming here from California. What are you going to do in East Rutherford?
Got some
Yeah,
good
they did
Italian
everything in
restaurants in
Manhattan.
that area. They
But
got
all,
the
but all
mall.
like the weeks
They got the
leading up was
mall.
all in Manhattan. It was
Yeah,
at
but that's
Jacob
not easy.
Javits Center.
But that's not easy to get. So East Rutherford to Manhattan, not super easy. You can get to that. There's a train station there. There's that the pass station, or was it the?
It's the car.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody stayed in East Rutherford. I think they stayed in Manhattan,
They
and then they
stayed in
did all the
Manhattan.
stuff. Yeah, and then came for the game and then left. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Right? If you're coming from the Midwest, you're not going to come and stay in New Jersey, right? If you're going to
Yeah,
do the whole week, you're going to stay in Manhattan, do everything there, and then come over.
Alex
so they want to go to
disparaging the
the,
Secaucus
everybody can
brothers.
go to the TikTok diner or something like that. Was
World
that
famous.
famous diner down there?
World famous
Um,
diner. Clifton.
yeah, that's interesting. Interesting. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about? We've talked about the Super Bowl. We've talked about the Luka and AD trade. We talked about Angel Reese. Is there anything else for this week that we need to discuss?
Well, potentially based on what Alex teased, potentially next weekend we're talking about the LeBron to Golden State trade. So stay tuned
Yeah.
for that.
But for who? Wiggins? I mean, I don't know who they probably have to trade Wiggins. Yes,
Yeah,
salary wise,
Draymond and Wiggins.
there you go. It's
they
coming.
never
Alex
trade.
called
They're
it.
never going to trade. They're not going to trade Draymond.
Well, I don't think anybody would want him.
Yes, the Knicks would love him.
No.
He would add some strength and panache to the Knicks. Oh,
Nah.
they would love him.
Some
They would love
panache,
him.
Alex. You need some panache.
It's all about the panache.
There you go.
Nah.
He would be the last missing link for them to win the NBA championship. Get a
OG being
a
healthy.
class player like Draymond who's won 4 rings and knows what it is to win and knows
Right.
how to win. There you
Yeah.
go. And he's also a
Love
good
it.
3-point shooter now too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Pass.
I like when he goes, yeah.
we're teasing the NBA mid-season recap episode.
Yes,
Yeah, it's coming.
yes, I know. Believe me, I saw Golden State. They whoop up on Shea Gilgeous Alexander's team. They beat them really bad. Great win, and then they go out to Phoenix and they get destroyed. So the Golden State season is just so up and down. It's just killing me too.
Well, that's what happens, right? When you get older, like you can perform one night, but you can't perform the next night and the next. It's just. I think that's where Golden State is. I think if they, we're getting an NBA now, but if they get into the playoffs and you get those days off, they're going to do okay. But now when you don't have multiple days off, I think it's tough for the older teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Warriors also have a terrible bench too, so that's another. Well, Kuminga will be back soon, so when Kuminga gets back, it's a big positive. But right now, they just have no bench. They go to their bench of these guys like Santos, the guy from the Brazilian team, and like there's no way these guys should be NBA players. But that's what's going on right now. Anyway, okay, so yes, we will talk NBA probably next week. We'll talk a little bit more because the All-Star game's coming up, and we have to talk about that and talk about the celebrity game and all stuff like that. So we'll talk about that next week. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining this week. This was a lot of fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy our recap of the right off the press of the Luka. This is the quickest I think we've ever been off the press on any event or topic. So I think this has been great.
And it trumped the Royal Rumble last night, so you guys
Who
didn't have to
won the
hear
Royal
about
Rumble?
that. For the women, it was Charlotte Flair, and for the men, it was
Ric Flair.
no, no. Why am I blanking on who won for the men? Oh, Jimmy Uso.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry, Jay Uso, not Jimmy Uso.
Wow.
Jay Uso. Yeah. And John Cena was in it. He beat
John
John
Cena?
Cena. Yeah, John Cena came back and he beat John Cena.
He beat John Cena.
Yeah, he knocked him out. It was John
Cena,
Cena
the guy
versus
from
Jay
the
Uso.
guy from the garbage bag commercials.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He also another guy doing McDonald's commercials,
yeah.
right? Another guy doing McDonald's commercials. Like he that's how he trains. No wonder he lost. He trains with McDonald's. Him and Angel Reese. Oh wow. Okay. John Cena. The McDonald's is getting those sports athletes in there. Yeah, the healthy McDonald's meal. Remember they had made. Remember a couple years ago they made like just one meal. It was supposed to be like a healthy hamburger, but no one would ever order it. I don't know what it was. But anyway, okay. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.
Enjoy the Super Bowl.
This is Tom Carvel. Thank you for listening to 3 the Hard Way Sports Podcast. Remember to get a Fudgy the Whale or Cookie Puss for the next time you're sitting down to watch the big game.